All right, a customer brought this gray Hayabusa here to me. Gotta cover up the tag. All right. Yeah. Customer brought this gray Hayabusa to me and complaining of clutch issues. So we're gonna check it out, see what's up. This is replacing the clutch on this 2000, early 2000s Hayabusa. I believe it's 2005. So the first thing we want to do is take the fairings off, which means taking off these Allens here, as well as that Allen there, that clip there, and then we have an Allen here, and an Allen way down there. Sometimes there's an Allen there, but that was gone. And we got to take off this frame slider right here. So that's the first step. There's also one more bolt hidden way up underneath that guy. Once those are all loose, there's a pop-up spot right here, so you just lift up, and then this will sort of slide up and back and out. So here, and then this. And I forgot, we got this air line here. We got to disconnect. All right, that's disconnected. Now this should be able to move this guy up and out. Once the fairing's out, now technically you could go ahead and drain the oil now, but we're not going to bother right this second, and we're going to loosen up all these 8mm all the way around there. Once that's done, to get the cover loose, just gonna take a rubber mallet, give it a bop. Not much. See, it's loose. It's loose. Now, gonna have to grab it with both hands and pull it off. Oh, yeah. God dang. Shee. Yep, and this is what we're looking for. Looks like one of the clutch basket bolts backed out and absolutely hammered this clutch basket. Got some braking and all that. Unfortunately, there is a lot of metal down here, so we're gonna have to do what we can to get that out the motor so it doesn't cause a problem. That's the culprit right there. But we're gonna dig a little deeper. So next step is gonna be taking these 10mm out and pulling the clutch basket hub out and the clutch plates, and we'll see what's up. All right, that's the outer hub here. It's a little beat up, but other than looking rough, there's no real damage to this. Looks like we might have some aftermarket springs maybe, but unfortunately one of the bolts backed out and all of them were loose. So this looks like it's a beefier clutch piece here. We'll just slide that out. Set everything off on a nice clean surface. We're gonna pull these clutch plates out now, and then we'll probably see what the damage is at that point. This whole clutch basket's gonna need to come out though, so we're just gonna pull the plates right now, and we'll probably go ahead and pull the basket after that. Normally we don't have to do this for a clutch job. This is where we would take all the plates and the steels, the new ones, and put new ones in, making sure they're in the correct order. You see how they're alternated there. But because what actually happened was the retaining bolts and springs, they were barely even tight. I think this should really have some Loctite on it or something like that, but regardless, those were all loose, and one of them backed out all the way and bounced around everywhere in there, taking a lot of material with it. So the whole clutch basket's got to come out. I'm going to do that next, and it's a two-handed operation, so I'll meet you on the other side. This is the clutch basket out of there, and you can see that it took a beating. Took out a big chunks of the basket. And I guess my main concern after that is all this metal, and there's the cavity there that drops down into the oil pan. That's also where the oil pickup is, and so it's a little concerning that any metal could have got down in there, and you know, you don't want to suck that up into the rest of your motor. So we'll have to give him a call and let him see what's up and see how he wants to proceed. But either way, there's some things that need to be replaced and things that could be replaced, and things that definitely should be replaced. This is the part where the customer is gonna ask, what's it gonna take to get me back right. So sure, you could replace the clutch basket, do the clutches, and that's the bare minimum, cleaning this crud out down here. But there's no guarantee that down here, this cavity, that none of that metal went down inside of there. And so the safe thing to do would be to drop the exhaust here, and then drop the oil pan underneath. Now that might require loosening up the radiator and getting it out the way, or maybe even removing it all the way. But getting that oil pan off down there and physically cleaning out as much as possible, that's really the safest way to go about saving this bike and preserving it. Sure, you could just do the bare minimum, and that's up to the customer to just replace these parts down here and slap them in there and get back on the road. That's a cheaper route for sure, but there is no guarantee that there's not metal, and I would be willing to bet that there's metal down there in the bottom of that oil pan there. So what's turned into a simple clutch job has now turned into something a little bit more.